despite not playing to catch them, you know, for first place, you still really want to test yourself against SKT. You might play them in a final. You want to show to your fans as well, you know, what you can do. Like Flash was taking down SKT was huge. Team WE doing that as well before we go into playoffs next week. I think it has a lot of potential.
Let's see what happens to pick some bans. Com and Lulu still up and available. Let's see, LeBlanc Ivern taken away from SK Telecom. Kled is another one that 957 has received numerous bans all tournament long. Peanut will not be allowed to play his Cleanut Lee Sin. That's been taken away by LPL's Team WE.
I think you can save the Kled bans for second phase. I don't think you necessarily have to ban it early. It's rare it's picked in the first phase.
Yeah, I do like the Karma ban because it's super highly prioritized for the flexibility with WE. That being said, they have a lot of very flexible champions. Like early Fizz picks have come through, early Gragas picks as well. So I'm wondering what the first pick here from SKT. One of the biggest things about this team is that SKT does not need a specific champion or any specific champions to actually win the game.
Well, Graves is available right now as the top priority jungler. That is locked in for Peanut. The man with the most kills in the entire tournament. He wants some more.
Okay, I'll take you.
Was that really that bad of a statement?
I was just expecting more. It just kind of ended a bit short.
Oh, that's how you make a statement like that.
Peanut was gifted a whole.
Oh, by the way, he does it by shooting people in the face. So there you go, guys.
By the Gigabyte Marines, and of course, Team WE on their first rotation. They reply with a jungler of their own in Elise. And of course, they've locked in that Ashe for Mystic.
I'm super excited for some early Xiye plus Condi action. This has been one of my favorite parts about watching this team. Is the way that they can try and work together for Condi to add some extra threat to his early routes.
Now we should see Zero get his Braum here against the Tahm Kench before we go into the ban phase. That means SKT could actually pick a mid laner like Syndra here and then try and ban out us other mid laners and kind of trade that. Orianna is another one. Like you want to kind of force Team WE to have to decide between getting the #1 support for them or maybe losing something in a potential mid lane matchup. Seems to be the very safe choice of just Ezreal coming in. Still expecting Braum to come in here for Team WE.
It'll be a very big pickup. Melee versus melee support, something that we're seeing quite a lot once the Karma Lulu trio has been banned away.
I'm starting to get excited for the SKT composition here because they have extra mobility with the Tahm Kench. Ezreal cross-map wave clear possibilities are even more dangerous in the hands of this team where they're constantly pressuring you on every minion wave advantage that they get. Plus, we are treated to Bangs Ezreal, one of the very best.
So Zero, the man who actually plays Braum a lot, did not want to go Braum because he wants to win the lane. Obviously tells us it's not a champion pool thing here. That's not why Zero is being subbed in. I think it's just to give him some experience on this stage specifically so that you're ready to use him in a semifinal.
And clearly, if they're going for Zyra Ashe, they're looking to kill this Tahm Kench in lane phase.
Oh yeah.
This is a lot of potential for harassment, and it's actually going to really test Wolf and, as well as Bang. So they'll definitely be playing more defensive, trying to see us from safety.
And we know SKT won't look to like swap out of the lane after like 5 minutes or anything. They will stay in that lane and keep playing 2v2. So Condi should pay some or spend some time in the bottom lane as well.
The detriment sometimes on the side of SKT. Fizz and Kled banned away in phase 2.
Or the bottom quadrant of the jungle. Talk about drafting phases where the early jungle route does start. And if you have a super strong bottom lane with guaranteed pressure like this.
Ooh, yes! It's gonna be Lucian mid.
Yes! Yes!
We finally get it!
Yes! Okay. Talk to me a little bit about Lucian mid, because we touched on it in day 1 and maybe a little bit on day 2. We know it's happening in scrims and solo queue, but this is the first time we're gonna see it in Rio at MSI.
So basically, extremely safe laning phase. You can lane against absolutely everything. Very strong on 1 item, Blade, 2 items, often Black Cleaver. So you're going to use that to really try and fight early and mid game.
Also, it does balance your damage composition, so we're expecting a top lane AP maybe here from 957. And the other thing that you can hand off early red buffs to the Lucian, that's what really, makes it super scary in the mid lane. I'm very curious to see if we'll actually see that, because in scrims, like you're talking about, when I have seen that, is been with Ivern, where you get the double use of the red buffs.
Now, obviously, Lucian as well does really well with levels, a bit like Corki in the mid lane, another AD carry we saw, and Ezreal in the past. Like, give them early, like level 7, level 9, get a few more ranks in the queue, and then suddenly your damage actually spikes quite a lot.
All right, we're not seeing an AP top laner. Rumble was up and available, not locked in. Instead, it's going to be Shen, so purely really AD damage. Elise falls off pretty quickly, actually, in their magic, but it does work early and mid.
Yeah, no, you can build AP on Zyra. Like, Zyra is very often dealing the most damage, you know, for 25-30 minutes of the game as a support. So I think there's enough AP damage on Team WE.
Yeah, exactly. Elise will keep you honest in the early game. Zyra will scale like a fairly normal mage, even coming from the support, even though it takes a lot longer. And Shen does have the mixed damage, so we'll really see if they're able to work around this mid lane.
And it's all early mid game right now for Team WE. Like, the scaling on SKT is fantastic. There is very little WE can do late game against this comp with a massive tank, you know, two AD carries basically, Graves and the Ezreal, and of course Orianna mid, and then Tahm Kench to save the day as a support. This is full-on early game from the Chinese team.
And SKT, they've crafted this composition in a defensive mindset here. You know, they don't have someone who's charging forward to get those Galio heroic entrances on the back line. These are defensive uses that we are going to see them kiting back.
As the coach is shaking hands, walking off stage, Koma, gigantic smiles on his face, looking at this Lucian mid into Faker's Orianna.
Other thing I'm going to be looking for is the Tahm Kench entrance with Galio, to see if Huni can pop up inside the enemy team in a less heroic entrance, but still very effective.
Now it's going to have multiple options to enter the fight. From above or from below, the help of Tahm Kench. SK Telecom, the #1 seed from groups, taking on Team WE, the #2 seed in groups. And mid lane Lucian has been locked in. There was whispers on the horizon. And it's Team WE with a substitution from Ben for 0, and now Xiye playing it.
Ooh, and poor Faker, feeling like he needs to run Cleanse against Elise and Shen here. That is a summoner spell that would not help him against Lucian.
Yeah, and of course the Ashe, as we've always talked about with the
And the Ashe, true.
you know.
And Zyra roots, and that's basically it.
All the CC that can come down. As we take a look at this early lane setup. So early to mid game has been talked about a lot. Condi and his pathing. Does he have a preferred lane that he wants to go into? I mean, maybe the Ashe Zyra, I would assume.
So if you look
not, I don't know.
Exactly. So if you look at the solo lanes here, Galio can CS from afar. You know, Orianna can play safely early on as well. The biggest thing that we were talking about was pushing in the bottom lane. You can use that to invade jungle, and Condi could just attack jungle. He doesn't have to attack lanes as Elise.
It's a nice setup for one though. Like, top lane. Early on, Galio can be killed. Shen to set that up.
Let me tell you, every champion can be killed.
That is not true. You cannot kill Faker's Cleanse Orianna as an Elise. It is
I shall check back in with you later.
That is impossible when it comes to early ganks. But you can, of course, have Lucian kill Orianna.
Okay, you'll let that one slide.
Without Elise. Without Elise. There.
Without Elise. In the solo scenario, Bang landing a couple of mystic shots, a tongue lashing as well.
Look at that early laning.
They're already at a disadvantage from that ranged poke and skill shots. I mean, Mystic and Zero literally eating every skill shot.
Yeah, Wolf is actually doing a pretty good job of getting brush control right now
10
as
out
well.
of 10, man. 10 out of 10 in everything when it comes to supporting. Wolf has been the more confident player at this tournament. When you win everything, you're allowed to be confident as well.
Exactly. Every player on SKT is confident. He's been very outspoken about it, though, as well. Really looking to make a name for himself.
Yeah, it was so almost heartbreaking to hear him talk about the rest of the SKT team. You know, when you've got Huni, Peanut, Faker, Bang, and no one ever has time to talk about me. So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to see how Tahm Kench performs. Peanut with an early invade steals away this blue buff. There's no reply from Condi because he's in his own jungle instead of trying to answer, and Xiye trading pretty heavily here with Faker in the mid lane.
That was a very cheeky little invade from Peanut, but it was possible because Wolf and Bang were actually pushing from level 1 very aggressively, trading potions early on for an invade for Peanut.
Exactly. The lane that we thought was, you know, drafted and it was going to be harassing early on and pushing for WE was not there. That was one of the crucial things we were kind of counting on. And to be fair, stealing away, you know, blue buff from Elise, wow.
He's
All right,
trying.
let's take a look at
I'm telling you guys, it is impossible.
Impossible is the call from Deficio. Cleanse has been used. Flash already.
Impossible.
Sidesteps the cocoon. The volatile spider comes in. Lucian gets first blood. Condi's looking for Peanut. It's a double kill to mid lane Lucian.
I mean, Faker using and everything, then he dies. As I said, Lucian will get the kills, as predicted.
You know what? I'm clapping.
European prophet over here.
That's it, Crumbs. You have been fired from the title of Prophet. Deficio has reclaimed it because it's impossible for Elise to kill Faker's Orianna.
Which is why Lucian picks up the kills, as predicted.
Deficio, tell me what happens in this replay. Analyze this for me.
Well, Lucian last hit him, and then Peanut went in, and he also died.
Right,
Double kill
Xiye.
Lucian.
Double kill, mid Lucian and blue buff into what is a favorable laning matchup.
Oh, he's going off. He's going off. Now there's no summoners on Faker, no summoners on Peanut.
Exactly. Flashes down here on very exploitable areas. Let's look at the vision on both sides right now here for WE as well. They're looking to take advantage. Condi first going to stop off and pick up his Gromp, but I would definitely look for him to stay offensive.
Oh. Yeah, gonna jump in forward. Faker using that command protect to try and block at least a couple of those autos, but any of the poke damage that Xiye takes either from Faker or the tower will be healed up by that Vamp Scepter, and he's just gonna ice skate around thanks to that blue buff and the Ardent Blaze.
Super snowbally picks here. Elise should be able to kick him with invades as we expected. Ward is down, and Xiye backs him up to protect the Raptor.
Yeah, back up indeed. Condi, we knew he was gonna come mid lane. Definitely some opportunities here. Oh, a little wide, another dash forward. Light Slinger, just keep being used over and over and over. And Xiye, he's definitely playing very forward and definitely playing into SKT.
I mean, why not? No one can actually touch him right now. Keep on trading. We're gonna see Lucian banned in playoffs every game.
I mean, this is the dream setup for a mid Lucian, though. To be fair, 2 kills pre-4 minutes maybe into the game. Bottom lane, by the way, has started to push back in the direction that we did expect. And Ashe and Zyra moving in, so that means red quadrant is completely WE territory.
And Team WE almost got Stand United on 957. Peanut uses out the end of the line, got a control ward in this little bush, so knows he's not under any vision pressure, but Condi's not done. He's setting up, waiting.
Yeah, the problem is there's nothing to lure Peanut in that way. Not only did he see Elise, but there's nothing there for money. Whoa, look at
Oh, the killing! The sideways! Xiye takes a tower shot!
Impossible!
Oh my god, he played that so well. Early level 6. Faker down again.
Look at Faker's face on the player cams. He is stunned. Xiye with the fadeaway culling.
Style points. Let's see.
Just straight culling, point blank, under the turret, cuts it off early to get the double shot. Life steals off of minions on the way out.
Now, do you solo kill Faker and win the game? At the same time, it's a 2,000 gold lead here for Team WE.
They have the comp to do it, because they can just keep playing aggressive. They have engage as well from Ashe Arrow. Cocoon from Condi, who can just invade over and over. Peanut is down in levels, Faker's down in levels.
Exactly, Peanut was trying to scavenge some camps because all of his jungle has already been cleared out. Uh-oh!
Volley catches onto Bang, he's forced to flash and heal. Now Wolf is the target.
Okay.
He also flashes. All right, Zero used his flash and ignite for that.
See how close they are to level 6. Shen, Stand United is available, so you're not out of the woods yet. Tahm Kench would be the target as well.
957's just, he's thinking about a recall, is looking on the minimap and decides against it. So advantages for Team WE in every single lane.
Look at this experience bar, almost level 6 here for Mystic.
Problem is, if he doesn't hit Wolf, then he will just devour Bang. Luckily, Wolf is pretty easy to hit right now, though, but he's actually walking away. Also, because Xiye was showing leaving the mid lane.
Insane control of the bottom side of the map here for WE. Mid lane, huge win. Bottom lane pushing in now. Shen is available. They should be able to take all Drakes as well as pose the threat of taking first turret.
All right, nearly 2 waves ahead in the top lane for 957. 15 CS in the mid.
Just for farm.
Xiye collateral damage just for those Raptors and 20 CS for Mystic. So the early game composition of Team WE is fully enabled. Now we need to see them play you know, they need to suffocate SKT on the map, take the towers and push them back.
And let me just re-emphasize how confident WE are in the bottom side. They leave the turret up. They don't go for first turret gold. They want to continue to control this whole side of the map and get more kills, get the Drake, and actually draw SKT out.
Well, they should go down and get it now, and then push out that lane and use it to actually take the Drake, and then also pressure mid, because Faker shouldn't be able to sit and farm if his bot lane is just getting pushed to the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, they should be able to take it, you know, at their leisure. You know, there's no really turret of their own that's under threat of going down, but time is definitely of the essence. SKT will scale.
Yeah, that SKT needs to survive a long time. No flashes on the bottom lane. Stand United available and Ashe are available. Zero's also getting closer to those Stranglethorns. If you look at the minimap, oh, it might be a party in the bottom lane. Bang and Wolf, they're pushing up, but there is support from Peanuts. Oh, Zero. No, not going to be able to go aggressive if you're dead. Wolf is going to gobble up Mystic. Bang gets a kill into Zero. It's now a 3-on-2. Mystic's running for his life. He's already flashed and healed. And Wolf sticks the lick. Here comes Condi. Cocoon on the back end. That tags Bang. Stand United also did not complete.
Yeah, it was interrupted there by Huni, and WE punished for their hubris. They didn't take down the first turret earlier. I wonder if they'll actually lose out on it.
Well, even then, just the fact they're actually losing that trade. Xiye is trying mid.
All right, Faker's going to dodge most of the culling. I'm hearing damage pings. Condi's down. Peanut.
What?
Crushed Condi. Abyssal Voyage is now going to deliver Wolf into Mystic's, Xiye's hands.
So, so much for that goal lead they had before of like 3,000 almost. Now it's only 1,000 after losing 3 guys.
That was definitely a large blunder from Team WE. They still have the first turret gold prepped, so they'll probably be able to cash in on that. A lot of deep wards for themselves in the red quadrant, but man, this does start to throw more questions in your mind.
Peanut caught out, stood on top of a ward. Zero takes him down, reclaims red buff, and lost coast to safety.
Right, so now it should be that bot lane tower going down, enabling the bot lane. They're still ahead. They just gave away a lot of gold right now.
Spread over a ward. I guess he was maybe trying to come to Xiye.
Yeah.
Whoops. Peanut managing to get the kill in the end. All right, Team WE, they still maintain control, but they just got schooled in the bottom lane. Zero and Mystic run down by Peanut. But look at this tower. They might be able to secure tower first place.
Yeah, the only thing now, top lane, 957 used his teleport to get back to lane much earlier, and he was going to rely on the Shen Stand United, but Huni not only didn't use his teleport to get back to lane, he also interrupted the Stand United, so technically they have teleport advantage.
Can SKT use it though?
They're probably just using it to farm, and not necessarily to like force a massive play. Unless they can get another 2v2 fight bot lane, they're winning.
What you can do is use your Galio ultimate to get somewhere else on the map, and then use your teleport to get back to lane as well for that farm.
Looking at Huni, he was actually moving down the river rather. Mystic's got that enchanted crystal arrow. The tower very close to death. It would only take a few autos, but there's no minions. Bang and Wolf doing a good job of clearing the minions out before setting up for a fight.
And this is why it's so dangerous to leave up an objective like that has so much importance. SKT can try and use this as bait now to draw in some more kills. Xiye will walk over some wards as he heads down bottom, but even if you see him coming, maybe they pressure.
Well, Condi's top side, so Xiye can't actually do anything here against the TP as well.
Yeah, small cooldown left on both the teleport and the Stand United.
Xiye doesn't have access to that ultimate, but he's going to combo up the dual lane. Backed away now, actually, in fact, to try to defend. The tower's just so close to dying.
So I wanted to talk about Bang's build here, because he's actually skipping tier early on. He will get it later, but he's doing this because the lane phase is very hard against this Ashe and Zyra. So he rushes Blade as fast as possible, doesn't sacrifice anything in terms of gold. And what it basically means is his actual mid-game spike of like 2-3 items is going to be delayed quite a bit, because tier, of course, will not start stacking early on. But it does give him way more power right now in this laning phase.
Exactly, and so does the version where they rush the Trinity Force first and then build in the Blade of the Rungi. But this one, you get that extra sustain as well. There goes the first turret bonus, though.
Yeah, Mystic able to get that tag. Minions knock it over, but Team WE, they get the first tower. That's going to at least unlock Mystic and Zero if they opt to move them either top or middle. What do you do with lane assignments if you have 2 AD carries now? Usually you just launch your only one in the mid lane.
Well, Lucian is in is the kind of AD carry you want to put side lane. He's super strong 1v1 because obviously again he's getting a lot of levels. Played with the King already completed for him. So you want to see him as a split pusher later. But if they want to keep the pressure of Ashe and Zyra, they can just send them to top side and actually push in that tower. But it is hard against Galio's wave clear, Vegas wave clear mid. So right now they need to figure out, do we put Xiye on side lane already and try and play like, you know, this pressure game where he can actually try and kill someone 1v1, or do we just use the push of Ashe Zyra?
Yeah, and once again, they have used the teleport back to the top lane for farm, and will just be relying on that Stand United. Peanut again with another invade on the blue, though.
Goes down, and Mystic anticipating a different direction. Faker flashes forward. Shockwave catches two. Wolf is caught up by the cocoon, and the collateral damage flies across Team WE.
And you deserve that one. You missed the arrow so clearly right there. Well, then now you need to use your flash. You just lost your jungler as well. Bot lane tower is dying, and this early game comp.
Xiye's going in. He's going in. This is going to be another solo kill. Xiye takes down Faker.
So he saw three guys bot lane and knew, okay, there's no jungle now. I can finally actually go for the kill, and Shen ulti was available in case he needed it.
Still, SKT are mounting a very big comeback here. Gonna get an objective for themselves. Wolf tries to defend this turret, but Xiye is not giving up.
He's not. Xiye taking some damage. Wolf is hungry. Throws down the exhaust. Okay, Stand United. Prey health is going to be popped. Here comes 957. Shadow Dash taunt. Connects. 5-0. Unstoppable for Xiye. Heroic entrance for Huni. That's going to catch 957 as Peanut takes down 0. Now Condi's joined the fight. Bang's waiting in the wings. Xiye, end of the line, doesn't quite catch him. Got that red buff, but needs to run away. Bang, with Blade of the Rune King completed, is doing a lot of damage to WE.
Love all the fights here in the mid lane. Wolf tried to, you know, stop the tower from going down and was probably expecting Huni to ulti on him. Not sure if Huni was in position to do it early, and Wolf ended up just dying as soon as he saw the Shen ulti.
Did not manage to make it stick, and what was a 2 or 3,000 gold lead is now less than 1,000.
Yeah, Huni hasn't actually moved yet from top side. And he's going to use it later on Peanut now that he's walked down the river a bit. Using it right there. Not ready for Wolf though. Yeah, no one using it on the support.
And 957 also learned his lesson from the last time of the interrupt. He went into the river first, so Huni couldn't interrupt his Stand United first, and he was able to arrive. But look at the gold. SKT plow right back into this one, and in the face of such a big early gold lead that WE got.
The problem is, you've angered the unkillable Demon King by killing him twice. Let's see what Faker can do. He doesn't have
It's pretty weak
yet.
as angry though.
Let me rephrase that. She has solo killed him twice. He isn't going to get a full culling to clear out the wave. He's got Blade of the Rune King almost towards that Black Weaver as well. And up in the top lane, 957 is going to pick a fight with Huni. Strangleforce holds him in place. 3-on-1. Huni nice body block. Flash for flash, a heroic punch seals the deal.
That was actually not even needed because the rest of the team were coming from mid lane and would have killed him, but doesn't matter, it looked really good. It looked damn good.
And all the outer turrets now down for SKT. Team WE moving in, Vision starting to creep over. Peanut takes the opportunity to counter with a Drake, but it's just another Cloud Drake.
The Lucian mid. He's been able to snowball early. You said it, Trevor, 5 kills towards his second item right now. You can put him anywhere on the map and he will be the strongest member on Summoner's Rift. So keep playing aggressive with Xiye, keep calling for those Shen ultis. Don't want to see them used on anyone else but the Lucian right now.
So we're going to assume Xiye will get this Herald buff. And we can already take a glimpse. 957's down on the bottom lane. Going to shove that one out. Actually, 2 control wars in the bottom lane still. Keep an eyes on how WE decides to start pushing their Vision forward. Because they've once again regained control of this game. 3,000 gold up. And SKT looking to bounce back.
Exactly. All right, let's take another look at the top lane. And 3v1 here from Team WE landing arrow. Here's the flash that you're talking about.
And look down here, Lucian and Elise showing up.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, we had him.
957's a flashy player.
He plays off of his instincts there. Not going to let this guy get away. Honestly, though, something else to keep track of is that on this Graves, Peanut has kept up his hard work here. You know, another drawback of the stall out that Team WE had on the bottom side, Graves just power farms away and away versus an Elise. He's always going to catch back up, and he's actually pulled decently far ahead of his counterpart.
Gold-wise, Peanut sitting around 600 or 700 gold ahead Condi, Huni, and 957 trading a lot. Spirit Visage on each side, but 957's got that Tiamat. Shadow Dash to get away. Oh! Durant comes back off cooldown. Abyssal Voyage is going to deliver Wolf to the bottom lane. 957 still trying to run for his life. Shadow dashes over the wall, but look at the minimap. W up top.
They're completely over chasing this one. 957 getting away, and now this tower's going to take some more damage. Xiye level 13 on this Lucian. Faker level 11. Just got 12. Doesn't matter. Statement was made.
It was true when you said it.
Exactly. And how often can you say that Faker is down 2 levels? Not very often.
Well, you just did. So Team WE maintain this lead. They're playing the map relatively well. It feels very fast-paced. You know, there's always something happening. Someone...
It's almost like a comp wants to play fast.
Trading. Right, what is the time limit on this team composition? When does Team WE start to panic? You know, because we are at 20 minutes now.
When Xiye gets killed and the large gold bounty goes over to SKT, I think that will be a moment where you start to worry.
Yeah, at this point you got plenty of time if you're WE, because you have the advantage in terms of items, and that's what you're going to keep pushing forward. SKT should not catch up unless they actually start winning some of these big fights they're not supposed to win. Or, of course, again, we go to that like 45 minutes and they start even out the items. You simply can't get more items.
All right, so time limit on itemization then for SKT. And the Analyst Desk actually sets up a great storyline for Team WE that they have avenged each of their previous losses, with the exception now of SKT. Lost to the Marines yesterday, or day before yesterday, and took them down earlier. Now I need to see how WE do. Can they close out this game with the substitution? 0 in for Ben. Zyra has been pretty good, but the story's not been about him. It's been about this mid lane.
Now, the good thing about hitting the 20-minute mark is Baron is alive, which is just another objective WE can use to try and kind of make force a fight. Problem is, no one can actually tank it. Other than like Shen once he gets a bit of armor, but he doesn't have it right now. And he's also sitting at the other side of the map. So it is actually extremely difficult for the next 5-6 minutes to start Baron unless you get kills first. That might be what they're looking for now.
All right, Mystic has dodged a fair amount of skill shots, actually. Unfortunately, takes a lot of those Mystic shots. Here comes Xiye, 957. Still in the bottom lane. There's no stand united for a few seconds longer. Xiye's going to dash over the wall with that relentless pursuit. The control ward is taken down, but WE holds. Also,
the top laners are entangled down in the bottom here. When they spread apart on the minimap, then you'll know that they're about to try and enter. Huni actually backs off after a good trade from 957.
Oh,
and there they go!
Calling onto Bang! Bang is gone by the enchanted Crystal Arrow. Wolf is going to devour Faker. Where is the shockwave? Thrown down. 1-2 members of WE are forced. They manage to take down Wolf as well. WE checks the kills down. Double kill for Xiye. 7-0-1. Looking for more.
Baron!
Down.
Now you got your kills, man. You can go Baron. You can take it down. SKT, they landed so many skill shots on Mystic. They felt comfortable staying. But then Wolf as well didn't use Devour. That can save Bang, who took the entire calling to his face.
Exactly. We just got finished talking about how WE want more fights right now out in the open. They get just that from SKT, who are pushing up at the outer turret, and a huge reward here. Baron is going to go help out Xiye take that last turret, and man, WE are pushing this one ahead.
Take a look at the replay.
So look at this here. Bang right now. As soon as he sees the ultis from Lucian, because he's actually charging up his own ulti, he takes so many hits first. Wolf does not devour him, and then he just dies to the arrow. Exactly.
No respect for a level 14 mid-lane Lucian there. Absolutely annihilates the backline.
Fantastic play from Team WE as we come out of this replay. Faker, the man, the myth, the legend, is down 3 levels to Xiye. The replay ends. He just dings 13, but it was true.
Statement was made. It's fine. You said it when he was still 12.
Oh, Team WE, what a actually intriguing way to end the group stage. Xiye is mid Lucian, sending a pretty big message now. Of course, WE will play G2 in the semi-finals, and maybe this thing becomes important in the next week.
So yeah, I mean, people will be like, oh, why would you show it now in the game that doesn't really matter for your standings or positioning? Well, every single team we've been tracking has been playing it already in solo queue, in scrim, so it's not revealing a new pick.
No.
This execution of it, though, definitely gives a little bit of trepidation when you're going into Champ Select against these guys, right?
We have to remember again, they got the perfect start. Double kill, like what, minute 4, 5, something?
The impossible perfect start.
Guy. Funny enough, though, I'm actually pretty sure if Faker literally just saved his cleanse for the cocoon, or flash the cocoon, he would just walk to his tower and survive. But anyway,
he used the cleanse on the ignite before Elise even got there.
That was, yeah, really weird. Anyway, it happened. He ended up dying, and WE got the Lucian fed. Very fair, because Peanut also jumped in and actually died right after.
If Team WE can do that to SKT,
where's that Tahm Kench going?
All right, heroic entrance from Huni is available. And the target will be Wolf, but Wolf is flashed away. Ashe Arrow locks him down, hasn't been able to devour anybody. Huni gets caught by an instantaneous cocoon. Defensive Justice punches. Here comes Xiye. Now SKT on the retreat. They want to run away. A fadeaway culling in a slightly wrong angle. Xiye not anticipating the retreat from SKT quite as much.
Look at the timing on the CC there from WE though. Huni, when he came in and popped the taunt, he was stuck in place. Wolf the same, couldn't really devour. 0, I think it was, he had all the stacks on, and WE just disengages.
Yeah, they do indeed. Still got Baron on. 957's relocating to the mid lane. He still has Stand United if another fight breaks out.
Yeah, one of the problems with using the combo SKT are trying to use in the way that they just did, Tahm Kench plus the Galio chaining ultimates, is that there's double stack delay now. You already get an alert when Tahm Kench is coming in that area, and then you get another delay for the Galio to come in. WE were able to get out of the zone.
All right, look at the item possession for Xiye. Black Cleaver, more Malmortius, Blade of the Rune King, all completed. And if they get any time alone on those towers, they will die. WE swapping between bottom and middle. It looks like SKT will be slow on the draw. Yep. WE get their 5th tower.
When you're 7k up with the Baron buff, multiple lanes pushing down, easy to go between them and actually taking a tower. Xiye is still bot lane. No one can challenge this man. Tip for bang, go for bang.
Now he's got his 2nd item completed. And immune as well as that Sheen. And Xiye will take the 6th tower. No outer turrets remain for SK Telecom.
One step left here for Team WE. Infernal Drake is the next one coming up, so they will want to keep their vision in place. That should be fairly trivial for them to do, to be able to retreat back to that, but until that point, you want to cut off all avenues of farming for SKT. Your point now with this much map control is to try and starve the enemy.
All right, without Baron buff, Team WE gonna look to not break over the inhibitor turret. Push some vision forward. I don't feel like SKT is gonna make mistakes sort of blindly checking their own jungle. I don't feel like they will. So how does WE then knock over a turret? Is this multiple lane pressure? Wait for them to rotate?
Yeah, like I said, I think the game right now is to try and starve SKT and increase your lead without risking. At 26 minutes, it's a little bit early in to really make that push. So you want to keep them corralled inside their base. You push the waves up to the base, farm out the jungle, take the Infernal Drake, and then come back when you have a bit more power. But they are actually just swinging for the fences.
I think with the double-AD carries, you can get in and hit a tower at least a few times because SKT are not running like hard engaged. You need to basically look for fake a shockwave when you are actually trying to hit a tower. If you get a few taps on it, it does go down a little bit. Problem is, if you can't stay there, obviously HP just comes back for the tower and then you wasted a bit of time. But there's not really much else they can do right now because they're waiting for Baron to spawn. They're waiting for Drakes to spawn. They're waiting for camps to spawn.
Around 2 minutes on both of those objectives. Bottom lane, 957 and Huni were trading back and forth. Huni, by the way, quietly growing in power. The culling is fired out here by Xiye. Faker loses a 1/3 of his life. But yeah, Huni, Iceborne Gauntlet, Warden's Mail, Spirit Visage. Pino with a desperation collateral damage, not going to steal it this time.
Yeah, WE doing a good job, like you said, fighting them off, keeping them away from the extra gold source here, farming the jungle, keeping the vision up. Have to watch out for the pick.
Walk from Huni there, just tagging up condi. It's passive popped. So look at the WE, a little bit split. Ashe Arrow is on cooldown. Mystic, of course, tried to catch Bang just moments ago. WE not going to be able to secure the red buff. It was actually picked up by Faker.
I like the SKT are contesting in the jungle, knowing the engage is down. But again, we're just waiting for Baron and Drake. Both of them are actually pretty huge. Infernal on one side, and of course Baron on the other one. And then if you're SKT, like, you will be forced into to fight without vision at all. You're gonna face check.
Talked a lot about vision. What do you think of WE's? They had 2 control wards in SKT's jungle, but those have just been cleared out. And SKT very defensive vision, but WE not really getting vision after being so deep in SKT territory.
So yeah, both the things that you just said. The regular wards are timing out. The control wards are being cleared out. That should mean that they should feel confident sending somebody like Xiye to go solo this Infernal Drake while they retain, you know, the necessary vision around the Baron area. As long as they don't, you know, give that away to some sort of sneak attack, should be fairly confident in going to grab the other one themselves.
Classic AD carries. Go back with the Thorn's Blade, 28 minutes in. Don't sell that for control. What you keep? You need that extra damage.
By AD carries, you mean Xiye or Mystic?
I mean both. So it fits on both here, luckily enough. Xiye is a mid laner. I'm sure would have sold his ring and got an award.
Oh, yeah.
Not as an AD carry
Not
right
as an AD
now.
carry, it's a different mindset.
To be fair, also, when you're 7-0, you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Okay, if you win the game.
As long as you win the game, yes. As long as you win the game.
All right, top lane is now pushing in WE's favor so they can bring more resources down to the actual objectives, and they're circling in on SKT.
Right, Faker gets caught out by the Cocoon. Heroes entrance will come down. Now Huni's in the middle. Xiye trying to solo out back. Relentless pursuit backwards. Shut down by Faker. But it's Wolf that dies after. The shockwave only a 957. Faker trying to survive. Bang! Goes down as well. Condi takes him out. SKT, they get another double kill for Faker. He's got that red buff. Justice punch for Huni. At the winds of war. Catch Mystic. Flash. Heal. He runs away. Now Peanut's down. Huni's running for his life. Shut down where he stands. 2 for 4.
Should go right to the Baron. Even though they don't have a jungler, the threat of someone stealing it is so low here. Only Faker is alive, and they will take it.
Let's see how much damage they're taking from it as well.
Oh, he's
already pretty low. Faker, he's looking for it. He has Flash and Cleanse available.
But to get past Zyra is a very tall task.
See the Baron HP right now because
Faker has a ward in there, so he's confident.
I think it's good. He stops it.
They've stopped the Baron. SKT get themselves 2 kills. Xiye a little over eager in that fight.
Wolf also came back there with ulti. But yeah, let's see the fight again. You're actually not allowed to do this, even though you're 7-0. He jumps in, gets exhausted. He's in the middle of the entire enemy team.
Exactly, and then he goes right into Bang's face. Bang plus Peanut, though, able to 2v1. This is where they started winning. But a
Bang the same.
Cocoon from Condi, able to 100% him along with Zero.
Oh, Bang going down with Flash available as well. I'm not sure if he expected Cocoon to hit Huni. We're back live, though. Ulti's ready for the Galio. Another fight around an objective.
Peanut could go in for the steal and then all back out.
Not going to be able to. Ah, very good devour from Wolf over the wall. Team WE, 9,000 gold lead. They got double Infernals. It's 31 minutes in, and they are still in control. They gave up some ground to SKT.
Remember again, they get AP on both Elise and Zyra, and then AD on both Lucian and Ashe here. So Infernal with a ton of value for them. Like 4 members benefiting a lot. Shen, not so much.
And all those concerns I had about AP damage. 2 Leandri's Torments picked up. One by Condi, one by Zero Abyssal. Scepter as well for Condi. 957, the only tank in the game. Not a huge amount of armor to speak of, but I think he's going to be trying to zone away Faker maybe, or saving someone stand United. Very important.
He's definitely going to need it against Bang. Again, Bang's now completed 3 items, and this tier is going to be stacked soon. That's what we talked about earlier, how tier will be, you know, stacking much later because he actually didn't buy it early because he wanted more for laning phase.
And then if we start to look forward again, always looking for the next step here from Team WE, trying to defend this mid lane while setting up Baron. They actually have full vision inside. They've cleared it out and starting the objective.
There is SKT on the minimap. Stand United is available for 957. The Baron's going to go
He's
down.
not calling now.
Stand United comes out. It's Peanut! It's stolen! Peanut and SKT kill Condi, kill the Baron, and now Team WE are running. Zero gets tagged up by the Idol of Durant. Stranglethorns will find some time. Mystic goes all the way forward, shuts down Bang. 957 and Xiye on the back end of the red buff. They're trying to fight away SKT. Xiye and Mystic still alive. Huni's Xiye. No! Heroic entrance comes down.
It's the wrong side.
And Huni gets caught.
Peanut just jumped over the wall, and Huni, of course, doesn't follow. When you activate that ulti, it goes to the location that it's targeted at when you click it.
But my goodness, have you ever seen a Baron sneak backfire that heavily? Peanut just walks up, yoink! Able to take that one as well as the extra kills. This is the huge drawback. Yeah, they're trying to sneak it and you know, only have 2 members in there, but nobody's playing defense. Peanut walks right through the entrance.
So look at Bang though now that we have to fight down the bottom as well. second time where he ends up jumping forward, gets arrowed by Mystic this time around, and then he just dies instantly with, once again, Flash available. We always praise his teamfighting positioning, but that's 2 times in a row now. Flashes up and he gets caught by CC and dies.
Huge smiles for Team WE. They're still in command gold-wise, but with Baron buff and Baron empowered minions, that's going to allow SKT to stall. What was it, 45 minutes? 45 minutes in items. That was what you said earlier, Deficio.
Well, basically, by 45 minutes, we should soon look at the point where everyone is about to be maxed out in items, and then the goal lead doesn't matter.
How long will that take? No. SKT still playing defense. Still trying to hold off Team WE.
Did you hear the 45?
I did.
By 45, I mean, by then, Faker is
I know.
4.5. Bang is going to be full by then.
Team WE don't want to sit around, though. They've actually got full control of the bottom side and looking to move in here with the flank as SKT don't have positioning on their mid turrets. We talked about 280 carries taking down turrets very quickly. They're fighting them off.
SKT took their second tower of the game up in the top lane, but look at Team WE. Gonna chunk down this inhibitor tower, 50%, 30%. The tower will fall as a relentless pursuit gets Xiye to safety.
With the Baron empowered recalls, Team WE still sneak through the vision into the bottom side and take down the turret with their double 80 carries. Elise adding a lot there as well.
WE on the verge of making a statement, on the verge of giving SKT their second loss of the group stage. Start chipping away at this inhibitor. How long are they willing to stick around? Remember, SKT is engaged, somewhat conditional. It's not hard engaged. It's reliant on Wolf delivering someone to the back line. Really, that's about it.
Yeah,
they can try the double ultimate again with Tahm Kench ulting in and then Galio ulting on top of that. But again, the mobility on WE should be enough for them to get out of that zone if they go for that side.
Step away for now, though. Kind of get back to the same point where no objective is alive. They can actually take near the river and force a fight. Oh, Condi actually stopped there.
Yeah, Condi's got flash available to him. Ashe Arrow insta-cleanse. And his Bang is able to use that QSS, but Condi loses his summoner spell. A little bit of a cheeky recall. You know, if you covered the nameplates, you'd feel like WE in a good spot to win, but just because it's SKT and they've got the scaling on their side, you start to worry between WE.
Exactly, scaling is a huge thing, and I go back to the junglers once again. Peanut has 2 levels over Condi. The gap just continues to widen with this Graves Elise matchup, and he's grinding away.
45 seconds out of the break. Might be the last call here for WE. If they lose that fight and lose the elbow plate, then I think it's going to be almost impossible to win.
Team WE have pretty good vision around SKT's red buff. Look at that bottom quadrant. 30 seconds, a little dragon. SKT, though, they've grouped up in the river.
Yeah, but you have to remember, though, double 80 carries, and again, AP supports Zyra right there. Like, they always do pose a threat. If you have a fight where people are getting split off and caught out a little bit, even full late game, it just gets so much, it gets so hard to actually do it. Against the tanks now on this side of SKT, fake a shockwave at this point against any of the squishy members will almost one-shot them.
Yeah, there are a lot of squishy members in Team WE. 957, he just shoved in that top lane. Condi takes a lot of damage. Eats an Ashe Arrow, shut down. 957 jumps onto Wolf. Shockwave catches Xiye, but nobody else. It's a double kill for Mystic. Here comes Huni. More lambs to the slaughter. Cocoon locks him down. Shadow Dash locks him down.
They might try and finish now. They just got the fight again. Peanut just dashed right in and died.
He had a huge problem with tunnel vision there. Just went in after he saw the cocoon, but arrow to the face, and he gets taken out so quickly. WE on the rampage.
All right, inhibitor is the target first. Faker, the attacks and dissonance is really burning through. Xiye's
going for it.
For the Nexus, it's Faker.
Oh, shit,
flashes forward, takes a Mystic shot to the face. Mystic sidesteps away from the Essence Flood. Faker trying to get away, uses the cleanse. Nexus turret number 1 is down.
They got him, they're gonna get him.
Now the Nexus turret falls. Team WE with a mid lane Lucian make a statement to defeat SKT.
So many fights where someone from SKT trying to play aggressive, instantly CC'd, instantly just gets destroyed. at the start of the fight. And WE, we were just talking about the setup for Elder Drake. Thought it was going to be like this big, open, even team fight. And then Peanut dashing headfirst without any vision into 5 members of WE, and he died.
Spoiler.
In case you only caught the very ending of this, yes, he did die.
WE start to the day saying they wanted revenge. It was going to be a bloodbath until the end, and either WE would explode or SKT would explode. And today it was SKT that exploded.
WE have crossed every name off that list, QuickShot. Definitely impressive heading into the next stage. Set on that collision course with SKT again as well.
Tough looks on the faces of SKT. Bang, leading away there. Head in his hands. But Team WE head held high. Now, we know the semi-finals will be Team WE taking on G2. Yeah, they've unveiled how well Xiye can play the Lucian. It's not the fact that he did play it, it's how well he played it. That's the worrying fact. Because it just adds another complexity to that best of 5. Another option WE can pull out.
I mean, again, we should expect every mid laner to be playing the champion by now, but we just haven't really seen him being used. Like, it was a script pick for this, and we have to remember again, this game didn't really mean anything for the standings. So you can obviously gamble and try and pick it, and it worked.
It did. They bet against the house, and they won. Anyways, for more on that game, we're gonna relentless pursuit over to Dash.
Thank you very much, guys. WE called it. They said it would be a bloodbath, but that they would fight to the very end. And right now, believe it or not, they are the hottest team coming out of the group stage. 5-0 on the back half of the group stage for this Team WE squad. So while SKT is the #1 seed, WE looking hot as ever. Crepo, I apologize because before the match, I didn't give you an opportunity to share your thoughts. So if you'd like to throw your prediction in now, I'm going to give you that opportunity.
Thank you, Dash. I think that's very considered. I actually did believe in Team W. Sadly, I couldn't share it with the viewers, but I've actually been doing a lot of research into Xiye's solo queue, found a niche pick, fantastic into Vegas Orianna, and that was actually the Galio mid, so I was equally surprised that he called out the Lucian.
The Lucian mid does come out. We've been hearing about it since the beginnings of the play-ins, actually. Some of us casters were talking about it, wondering if it was ever going to come through. We finally get it here in the final regular scheduled match of the group stages. What are our thoughts on this pick?
I mean, if you check Faker's solo queue, he is also kind of the predetermining factor of this one. And you saw it scattered throughout, and then CA picks it up, and you start seeing it spawn there. It's leaking over everywhere. We've already actually seen it in the LPL. Xiaohu played it from RNG, but I love the Lucian mid, but in very specific matchups. I think if you take it into Syndra, it can be really dangerous because she can just blow you up, lock you down. I think if you take it into Ryze, again, he's just going to lock you down. But against Orianna, she throws out that ball. You saw it exactly in that first blood. He dashes underneath it, and he immediately looks for the all-in trade.
I think the funniest thing about this is Huni gets screwed by Lucian once again.
That's true, right? Yeah, you go all the way back to last year in the North American LCS. He's playing Lucian a bunch in the top, so much so that even Bjergsen started to pull it out in the mid lane in his solo queue. But here it is on the opposing team, handing him a loss. As we talk about the Lucian pick, let's go ahead and roll out a couple of the fun plays that you mentioned in the mid lane. Xiye getting the better of Faker in the 1v1s, 2v2s, all that nonsense.
And again, it's just how you aggressively use that relentless pursuit. As soon as you see the command attack go down, he goes all in, he knows that he has the potential, and then this is just really unlucky. Peanut unable to follow up the kill, and then CA goes back in for kind of the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, SKT chasing the losses here, and Lucian, again, it's showing how good of a champion he is if he can get to proximity unpunished. And that's why Froskurin was talking about the likes of Syndra being able to just in any direction QE or just E to disengage, but Orianna can't really do that as she's so dependent on the ball. This is Faker right after he made a flash play overextending in lane, and while it's very uncommon that we question Faker, this is the second Orianna performance in the tournament where it has been subpar, so maybe that is the one pick people need to force him on to maybe get at least an edge in the matchup where he can't just massively outplay.
Well, and there are a lot of mechanically very talented mid laners in this tournament, and Orianna is someone who can be exploited in the early game. So, you know, you take something with extreme early game strengths, the Ignite as well. Faker takes Cleanse instead of something like a Barrier, you know, maybe a little bit more worried about the Ashe, and you can get very, very heavily exploited in that lane.
All right, but this does really excite me because, again, as we've been hearing about the pick all tournament long, we finally get an opportunity to see it on the stage. And again, going up against SKT, getting the win, I feel like this might give permission to more of the mid laners. Granted, they have to put the practice into it to make sure that they can put up a performance like this. And you mentioned there are certain, factors that have to be met. Yeah, prerequisites in Champ Select in order to enable the pick. But perhaps we might see this come out a little bit more often.
I mean, there's certainly the talent in this mid lane pool to pull it off. I know you were talking about how Bjergsen has played it previously before, so has the experience.
It's definitely there, but we also have to be honest. Like, it wasn't only Faker just dying. If you look at Huni with the Galio, also, what is this Galio doing in this comp? When we see Galio succeed, there's somebody who can drop, like, help him drop himself off in the backline. That would have been Tahm Kench. Like, is SKT expecting to Tahm Kench ultimate in the backline for Galio to then drop in? Because that's very announced visit right there. And also, Huni's build was slightly questionable.
Yeah, okay, so I was getting pretty tilted to this. We're 24 minutes in. Let's set the stage here. 250 CS on Lucian, 7 kills. Ashe is pretty strong. All right, what do I want to build here on the Galio? I need a Sheen and I need a Spirit Visage? I mean, what are you doing? And it's like the mid-game power was completely not there. You have to feel like if Galio is building an armor stacking build and even skipping something like the Iceborne, I think that works when you're ahead and when you're bullying your lane, but where's the Frozen Heart? Where's an early Sunfire Randuin's to give like almost invulnerability to this tank against the AD carries before they have armor pen?
Yeah, I mean, imagine what happens if you have a Thornmail on him as well as Randuin's perhaps, and then even if the Tahm Kench, your other frontliner, starts itemizing heavier towards the armor as opposed to into that locket for a little bit of magic resist. Either way, we can question as much as we want. The fact of the matter is that WE came away with the victory. They end their group stage hot, and that's where I want to leave off here. The discussion about where these two teams are moving out of the group stage and into the bracket stage. Of course, they wouldn't have the opportunity to see each other until that finals. But once again, the 1-1 head-to-head record's going to be weighing on SKT's mind here when you come into the finals against WE, if that's the case.
And it was a really close game the first time around, so it was almost a 2-0. Now, we'll never be able to tell what would happen if Team W would have gotten that Baron, but SKT certainly have been pushed to their limits by this team twice now over the group stage.
All right, well, with their group stage officially on the books, Shox is standing by for a word with the man that just brought Lucian to the mid lane.
Thank you very much, guys. And who else than Xiye would I be talking to after that fantastic victory over SKT? Now, the Lucian mid, we've heard rumblings, we've seen it a couple of times, but Xiye, why did you decide to play it here versus Faker and SKT?
我们就首先恭喜我们取得胜利。那想问一下你，我们听说过卢锡安中单的这个谣言，然后传言，那为什么这盘面对 Faker 的时候，你会拿出卢锡安这个英雄？
因为我rank用比较多，训练赛也尝试过用过几把，然后感觉这把我们这种比较适合套卢锡安，我就套出来了。
So he's actually pretty comfortable with Lucian. He played it in solo queue. He played it in a couple of scrims, and Lucian actually fits their comp in this match, so he picked Lucian.
And it went really well. Condi earlier said, well, if we can snowball or if we can get an early lead, it should be okay for us. And then you got those early 2 kills. So from then on, were you very confident that you could win?
就康帝在前面的采访中说过，如果你们前期可以滚起雪球，你们就可以获胜。那你们这盘是不是就你觉得是为什么你们能取得胜利呢？
因为我们前面准备了许多小套路，并且把 SKT 套路成功了，然后使我们中野优势很大。我们中野优势大的话，我们可以带着下路带领他们获取胜利，就是我们下路会打得很舒服。
So actually, they prepare a lot of tricks going into the game against SKT, and they gain an early game advantage and make mid and jungler very fat. And then after mid and jungle get fat, they can help bot lane to get more to create more advantage.
All right. Well, Team WE has done so much here at MSI already. You guys are into the semifinals, and you guys talked a lot about making the LPL region proud and showing something. How much does beating SKT do towards that goal?
那么你们这次已经击败了 SKT 了，然后之前你们也说到了，你们想代表 LPL 这个赛区来证明自己的实力。那么这次今天击败了 SKT， 你觉得对你们意味着什么？
虽然击败 SKT， 但我觉得我们淘汰赛碰到他们可能还是会很难打。这次击败算给我们一点信心，但他们淘汰赛可能会打得更认真，然后我们也会更加全力以赴。
It's still going to be very tough to face them in elimination phase. SKT is really strong opponents, and they will probably prepare better or more seriously in the later stage. So they will try their best, and hopefully they can win.
Well, that final is lurking now. You have the match coming up versus G2 in a best of 5. After seeing them play, what are your expectations?
那么接下来你们将在半决赛遇到 G2， 那你觉得这场比赛谁会获胜？你们面对 G2？
因为我们曾经2比0过他们，所以我觉得我们挺有信心把他们获胜，见他们获胜的。
Since we to hold them in the group stage, we're pretty confident going to semifinals.
Well, I can see that. I just want to ask a quick prediction. TSM is up versus the Flash Wolves for the very last spot in the semifinals. Who do you think is going to win?
那最后问你一下，马上 TSM 和闪电狼要打最后一盘了，你觉得谁会获胜？
其实两个队都很强，我就看他们当时现在临时的状态吧，因为这两个队都特别强，我就不好说谁获胜。这两个队实力特别相近，然后看他们 BP
预测一下。
我个人是比较支持 TSM 的。
So he personally support TSM. He felt like both teams are really strong. It really depends on how they play in that specific match. And of course the ban pick to see who have a better comp.
Yes.
But he thinks TSM has a little bit edge.
Oh, there we go. Well, the pressure is definitely on. Thank you so much, Xiye. Fantastic victory of Team WE over SKT. And that tiebreaker of TSM versus Flash Wolves is coming up right after this, so stick around.
Oh, it's gonna be Lucian mid.
Yes!
We finally get it.
Impossible is the call from Deficio. Cleanse has been used. Flash already.
Impossible.
Sidesteps the cocoon. The Volatile's fighting. Lucian gets first blood. Condi's looking for Peanut. It's a double kill to mid lane Lucian. United. Grey Health is going to be popped. Here comes 957. Shadow Dash Taunt connects. 5-0, unstoppable. 1-2 members of WE are forced. They managed to take down Wolf as well. WE chance the kill is down. Double kill for Xiye. 7-0-1. Looking for more. Baron down. Catch Mystic. Flash. Heal. He runs away. Now Peanut's down. Huni's running for his life. Shut down where he stands. Uses the cleanse. Nexus turret number 1 is down.